Well, hello! Once again, you have found a Texas Steampunk Connection, broadcasting to you throughout the multiverse Steamverse from our various bunkers and airships. With me, as always, is Thax, Gentleman Adventurer.
Hello, hello.
With me is Jack from Steam Chest.
Hello.
And we have with us today Master Blue Stocking from Steampunk Dollhouse podcast. So once again, we are here to talk, probably about steampunk, most likely, because that's what this is about. Thank you for the...
Yep, cracked out again. Oh well, I'll figure it out. But
is it Facebook clipping the end of
it? I think it's StreamYard.
Okay.
The file is complete on its own when I play it on my computer. So I don't know.
Weird.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is the day after Labor Day, and we are all getting back to our regular work schedules or what have you. And that is unreasonably difficult. Is that wrong for me to say?
No, it's the end of the summer. It's always weird.
Today feels like it ought to be Monday, but I don't have my... If it was Monday, we wouldn't be filming yet, and I would have another day to prepare for this thing, and
Nope.
I don't.
Nope. I did prepare something, but I assume we all went to Steampunk Explorer and prowled through that.
I don't think the thing I'm going to talk about tonight is actually from the Steampunk Explorer, although I have a number of other options that are probably more entertaining. But it's okay. That's okay. Hey, Rita and Lawrence are here. Now the show can start. Thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate you. How's everybody doing? What's been the last 2 weeks for y'all?
School started again. I mean, officially school started again, but I don't take classes anymore, so it's kind of a weird liminal space, but that's about it. And
hey, Jack,
reading a lot.
Do you know you're muted?
I am muted. Oh, man. Y'all have not been hearing my sarcastic comments.
This is going to be our best show ever.
Ever!
I saw his mouth moving, and I'm just like, nope.
I'm gonna start muting myself, just be like, and all of a sudden he went, and then and then the camel showed up.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's there for all the audio people. Anyway,
so this is our first show into September.
Yep.
Which feels to me like spooky season.
Yes.
I'm already spoopy.
It's not intensely hot out anymore. So I can convince myself that it's cool.
It's a balmy 95 degrees.
Hey, it doesn't matter. It's still fall.
Hey, it's going to get 68 degrees at night in like 3 days. I don't understand that. I don't get that. My brain just does not know how to comprehend the outdoors being cooler than my indoors.
I love it.
Yesterday morning, I opened the back door to let the dogs out, and it was as cool outside as it was inside.
Yeah, It's been really nice.
100% more humid.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. It's kind of like swimming right now, even up here. Yeah. We haven't had any rain since the last... Well, no, we had some around the area the other night. We didn't get hit with it. It was nice and cloudy and cool. Yeah. So the rain seems to have settled down a little bit for now. It unleashed all 2 months worth in 24 hours.
Yeah. Good. Half our year's rain in 2 days.
I mean, yeah, that's the way it usually works.
Yep.
Not quite as extreme as it was this summer usually, but so.
Yeah, we had an unusually consistent summer of nothing but let's just bake you to death.
Dry and over 100 degrees. Yeah, it was bonker. But it wasn't just us. I mean, like I said, when we went to New Orleans, everyone kept saying it's going to rain at least once every day. 7 days, and there was zero rain the entire time. I'd had my umbrella. There was one day.
Ready for it.
Yeah.
That's your problem. You're ready for it. You broke it.
Yeah, but the problem is when you're driving in 100-degree heat with no rain for 8 hours each way, you use up all your windshield washer fluid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just took my car for service. I'm like, gonna have to fill that up because it's gone.
I just use water balloons and I throw them in front of my car as I'm driving.
Shut up.
Funk.
Jack, you were just saying how you were looking for Steampunk Halloween online.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I'm gonna find some steampunk Halloween. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be like horror, and no, it's like I can't even like this. Not even the Spirit Halloween store was first pop up. It was like Walmart, and it just had like the most basic. I don't know. I hate to say this. Maybe it's because I've been in steampunk for so long.
What, goggles?
I'm just like I'm so
Goggles and
tired.
gears?
I'm tired of goggles and a brown vest. Like, I get it.
Yep.
I've moved beyond. Like, that's where you first start. I've moved beyond it. I don't know how many more people are out there that are like, I'm gonna go steampunk this year for Halloween.
Yeah.
It's not a. I don't feel like that's. I feel like it's a meme now more than anything else. It's just
Entry level steampunk.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if you haven't really gotten into it now, you're probably not going to get into it in the same way you would have 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is, buy all the crap stuff, go to a convention, and then like realize, find that one leatherworker you like, dump like your tuition money on it, like that one small piece that you're like showing around the next convention.
Yeah.
And then for the next 8 years, you go slowly more and more into dead end or bankrupt, getting like the hat, the cool goggles from like, the Swiss military motorcycle, goggles or something. And then like spending your time wiring them up for them to work like 3 times and never bothering to fix them because the wires look cool. Or that could just be me.
No, I did the same thing. I built myself mine up piece by piece. I mean, I did drop some money on the Venefica corsetry at Steampunk November a few years ago, but I couldn't wear it because the next year was the pandemic. So I wasn't able to. Although I did actually for the Narrative Society conference last year, it was online, but we had to videotape our presentations and then put them up. So I recorded mine sitting on my back porch, and the camera was far enough back that because it was a steampunk book that I was talking about, I had my full gear on.
Nice.
Sitting on my back porch and corset, boots, all of it. Yeah.
And you kind of did like the Mystery Science Theater beginning where you like panned over some stuff and then like pulled out to you sitting in a wonderful chair
no,
with like
because
a cup of tea.
It was me recording it by myself because Matt had to work. Because I didn't realize that we had to have them up 2 weeks before the conference. So I was rushing. Yeah, it was a bit of a rush job. But yeah, no, it was, I wanted to wear it. So I busted that out.
Oh, man.
I will be wearing it this year, though.
Woo!
Yeah.
So from my experience on Halloween stuff, not necessarily steampunk Halloween, but a lot of people, like every year, they post a YouTube video of sort of the walkthrough of this store and that store and the other store about how all the new stuff is in. And if I was just watching those, I would say the Halloween stuff is getting better, getting higher quality stuff available from the mass market than I've seen in previous years. And I think that's pretty exciting because we've been forced to build our own Halloween costumes and home decorations and what have you, because the things at the store stink.
Well, do you remember what they were like when we were kids? The plastic mask that smelled bad and like the plastic
rivets, the pieces with like,
and the weird plastic like dress outfits
on over and over and over and over.
They were horrible.
Well, the punchline is, I see these videos talk about stores in my area, so then I go to the stores and there's nothing there.
It's already gone.
They've not even put it out yet.
Never been there. Oh, really?
There's like half a row, and it's pretty weak sauce. Home Depot, Home Depot's got the 12-foot skeletons, right?
Yeah.
And they've got like 2 kinds now. They're not in my store.
They're not
There's
in anybody's
no Halloween stuff in my Home Depot yet.
Store.
Like,
yeah, the
what are you
skeletons
waiting for? Come on, man!
The skeletons drop it because my sister-in-law, she had the line on when they were going to drop, and she was like sending me a message. She's like, they dropped at midnight, and it was like in July, I think. But she didn't get the 12-foot because they really had no place to put it. But she got the box of the 6 smaller skeletons that they're going to have all around their house. Yeah.
I want to see someone in the 2nd-story apartment complex with that thing like hanging out of their balcony, just like over the draped off onto the ground.
I know. They're
with like
awesome.
a big sword stabbed through it, make it look like it was like trying to get in. Yeah. I would have so much fun with that.
Oh yeah, there's a whole lot you can do with that. There's a million stories you could tell with those things. Yeah.
But it's a big commitment because where are you going to put it the rest of the year?
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people
leave it up.
Well, yeah, some people that have, vaulted, like our old living room where we used to live, we could have had it in the house because
you just now dress it like a Christmas tree.
That's what people do, though. People will just keep changing the outfits throughout the year.
And then Easter comes along,
yeah,
and you put Easter collars on it, like
streamers
on
it. Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day, you give them a big old stein,
and a green hat. Like maybe one of those fake red beards that like hangs off the jaw.
See, there you go.
So big commitment, one way or the other.
It is.
4th of July, you just make it hold a flag and like a rocket or something in one other hand, depending on how political you can get political with that if you wanted to. I'm sure, but I think
strap it to the top of your car and just drive around with it on the top of your car.
With a skull on the back of your car. I killed a giant. I skinned it.
There you go. All right. So, Thax, what weird beer do you have for us tonight?
Okay. Well, we're talking about Halloween and spooky season. And I pulled out what I bought last year just after the season was over because it was on sale. I got my full-grown Nick. Jack. Full-grown Jack. Excuse me.
Full-grown
Nick is the next season. But I'm ready. I'm ready to get into the spooky. And
have you had it before?
I have had it before. I had this. I had the rest of the 6-pack last year.
Oh, is it pumpkin-y?
It is a pumpkin spice stout. You can see that it is very, very thick.
My goodness.
It doesn't taste like squash, but it does taste like cinnamon and clove and ginger and all the beautiful things. And
so it's the seasonal beer that tastes like holiday,
and it eats like a meal.
Yes,
I wish like it's thick enough to like pave my driveway with it, blacktop my driveway in beer.
Oh, that is good. I wish it were colder out. It's a beer that kind of wants it to be a little chill, a little bite in the air, but I'll take it. Soon. That's where I'm going.
And Jack, what do you have tonight?
It's been today has been the equivalent of 3 days worth of work because I couldn't get everything done that I needed to do on Friday. So today is a little hard. I'm going with the Malibu Black.
Oh no.
70 proof, 35% alcohol. Bold Caribbean rum with coconut liqueur. And we're doing it in my wonderful
Godspeed,
CIA National Security Intelligence Agency shot glass that my brother got me when we went to the museum and dropped resumes off at the actual security intelligence facility just because we could.
That's how to get on a list.
Yep.
We're already on lists, I'm sure.
There's a dossier
you
somewhere.
Type in how to make your own ammo and pipe bombs. You're on a list. You're on a list.
Although, sadly, I probably have, just because writing different stories, you have to Google weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's we all have that one FBI agent that has to watch our screens, and he's just like... he's either intrigued with us, or he's utterly, just in horror of what we're looking up.
Nah. He's seen it all.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can show him that he hasn't seen before.
Challenge accepted.
Poor bastard.
I mean, I've been around on the internet a while. I know it's horrors.
Yeah.
Some of it's very eldritch these days. In age and in disgustingness.
There's some dark depths out there.
Yeah. So that is a coconut rum, but it's a full rum strength.
Yes. It is essentially, it's 35% alcohol. And delicious. This is like my favorite of these. It mixes very well. It's very smooth to drink by itself, which is what I'm doing. If I had like a singular ice cube, I would drop it in there or drink it like you would whiskey over ice.
Whiskey on the rocks.
Yeah. And some people think that's sacrilege, and I'm like, well, you obviously don't have a Death Star ice cube, so
Yep, because of course. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you have a Death Star ice cube?
I feel like
$7 for that thing.
if you're drinking coconut rum straight, you've already kind of shown your quality. Put any ice cube in it you want.
I know.
You already
at
passed
point
a
in time,
certain
like,
bar at that point.
it's like, do I care what you think about me right now? No.
Who's talking? Is it wine night?
Nope, I am drinking cider, but
Ooh.
Stella Artois, and it's it's classy and fancy because it's cider with an RE instead of with an
Oh.
ER.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fancy European cider, yeah.
The
It's all right.
French.
I actually like Angry Orchard a little bit better. I mean, it's all right. Doesn't quite have the bite that I like from cider. I like it to burn.
I like the
a little
cider
going
that
down.
feels like someone threw a baseball at you when you drink it. It's an apple straight to the throat, or a pear.
Yeah,
A pear
I don't.
one's pretty good.
I mean, this is very smooth. It's it's good, but I like it fizzy and like it's gonna just sear a path all the way to my gut.
Yep.
American cider.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're so American. Like the culture is lost on us. Apparently, here
Apparently,
I am sipping coconut rum out of a shot glass.
Frenchies don't know about Johnny Appleseed or nothing.
Freedom.
yeah, but see, they also use the ambiguous European. They don't tell you where. So,
It's
use
probably
your
Italian or
imagination.
something, who knows?
Italian, could be French, could be German. You don't know.
Ukrainian.
Probably. I mean,
We're considered Europe, sort of.
I'm not going to make fun of Ukrainians' drinking habits.
no,
They would
they
kill
are.
me.
They're a
Moment
hard
in
living
time,
people.
if they have a drink, they should be having it.
Yeah.
I have mad respect for them at the moment.
Indeed.
All right, so we want to get into it, eh?
Sure.
All right, who wants to do homework first?
I will go first because I was really excited about this when I found it. Yes, I was digging for something to talk about, but then I found it and I was so excited.
Nice. All right.
Yes. So let me find I'll send. I need to just make a StreamYard account, which is why I can't get into the comments because I don't have one. So hang on just a second.
You can all log into the same one. We just need to resend you the information.
Okay. Well, there's the link for the trailer. There is a new game. It's coming out next year called Lies of P. It is. I know. They needed.
Sorry, I'm 12.
No, I've been doing the same thing all day. They need to come up with a better name, but it's Steampunk Pinocchio, y'all. It's Steampunk Pinocchio. Yes, it is so cool, and it seems to be more based on the actual Carlo Collodi story and not the Disney-fied version, because the Collodi story, if you've never read it, a little horrifying. Pinocchio Geppetto calls him a wretched boy in that story. Also, he kills the cricket in that story. Yeah.
I've heard a few versions. The
original is hard.
You did a report, I think, on.
I haven't done that one yet. I've talked
I
about
with
it.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
But there are a number of versions that are all terrible.
Collodi, but the Collodi version, he wanted it to end. It's one of the few fairy tales where the male character actually experiences real, the male protagonist experiences real consequences for his lackadaisical actions.
What the heck?
Yeah, because he was supposed to die in the original Collodi story. The original ending, he dies because of his bad behavior and his actions. But it is gorgeous. It is so beautiful, and they're calling it Belle Epoque, which is the late 19th century, and it's gorgeous. He's got he's not a wooden puppet. He's a robo puppet.
Oh, okay.
And apparently within the game you can change his parts out.
That makes sense. He's an automaton.
Yeah, you can change him out, but I'm excited because I don't do well with first person. It nauseates me. This isn't a first person. You're running your little character along.
Third person storytelling.
And I love
it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not coming out till next year. But yeah, you have the mission is to find Geppetto within the city.
And kill him?
I think you're supposed to hook up with them and get to the blue. It's the basic Pinocchio story. No, yes,
Okay.
he's an assassin sent to kill. No, you got to find. Yeah, it still follows, as far as I know, the basic Pinocchio narrative. It's just, like I said, it's very grimdark, which is, truer to the Collodi story, which is why I'm so excited about it. It's not the Disney version. But I mean, look at
Pinocchio, the character that we're seeing in Jack showing the video. He looks like a boy.
I know.
He doesn't look like a robot, right?
Yeah, it's beautiful. But look at in that this is the gameplay trailer. If that's what the gameplay, is what the gameplay actually looks like. That is stunning. It's just, and sometimes
that's just stunning. Hello.
Yeah, sometimes the gameplay doesn't always match what they show on these, but I'm hoping this is.
All right.
No, they're using the same. They're rendering the same footage for their cutscenes as their gameplay.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. So very excited about this.
I don't know if this is going to be on consoles. This looks like it's going to be on, at least for sure, on PC.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be on. I mean, I would prefer it actually on console if I could get it that way.
If this isn't on Steam, they're missing a bet.
It's on
Steam. If it's on Steam, you can use Xbox controller on your computer.
Yeah, look at that. The Pieta with Pinocchio.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, it's so. Yeah, like I said, the name sucks, but.
I'm sure it's a perfectly good name. I'm the problem.
You can't say
no,
Pinocchio,
I was doing the same
Disney
thing.
owns rights to that.
Oh no! Because the original Collodi story, like I said, Pinocchio, they can't. It's kind of like Winnie the Pooh versus Pooh. There's different, it depends on how they look. Oh yeah, this end part. Yeah, you had to wait for the final scene of the trailer. It was so creepy. Because they set down that coffin and it just says liar inside of it. Yeah. So it's I'm just gonna keep watching for trailers for this and get that when it comes out next year. It just says 2023. There's no specific date for it yet.
When they're good and ready.
Pretty much. I mean, with a game like that, there's a lot of work. And I guess it's been in the works for a while because there's a lot of people super excited about it. So
okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Apparently I had issues.
Yep, that was mine. I found that on Steampunk Explorer, and that has had me excited all day. So
awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. I did not even see that as I was, desperately looking for something to report.
It doesn't pop up under the Steampunk.
I think that's where I found it.
For me, it didn't. I usually have a pulse on Steampunk games. So this one, for some reason, I mean, it won 2022 Gamescom Award winner. It's a Sony PS game, best role-playing game, and best action-adventure game, and it's not even released yet.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's already winning all this stuff, and it's not even out.
But yeah, it's got full controller support, and it's single-player. It looks like, if it's on computer, you'll be able to use your controller for it. For sure.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Get the adapter for it.
Yeah. So, it's... Yeah, I love stuff like that. I'm going to have to sign up for Steam again.
Wait, you actually sign out?
I'm usually Sims or Warcraft. Those are my two extremes. Or Animal Crossing. Yeah.
I can see that. I'm a RimWorld person, and I've actually been trying to find steampunk mods for RimWorld because it feels like you're playing a colony in Serenity out in the middle of nowhere, and everyone wants to kill you and take your stuff.
That was the other one. I didn't save that, but there was another game on the Steampunk Explorer, Victoria 3. It's a Victorian age city builder. I don't know if there's a Victoria 1 or 2, but this was Victoria 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of DLCs for Victoria 2.
Is there? Okay, well, the third one's coming out. I don't know. It looked interesting, but I like city builders, but when there's stuff where I actually have to fight and, defend my territory, I get bored and I wander away. So, I don't know. It looked interesting, and we lost Jack again.
He's having a hard time tonight.
He is.
Well, I've been thinking since we've just come from Labor Day, which we enjoyed thanks to unions that saved us from the Industrial Revolution. Is that right? Yeah. I've been watching a lot of Victorian life YouTube videos, particularly a channel called Fact Feast that really dives into Victorian slums and the down and out and the things that they lived in. So it gave me a little more of an indicator of what life was like when there were no rules on how you had to treat your employees, and it's hard to conceptualize until it's played out to you. Mm-hmm. When there are no rules, things get real ugly.
I wrote a seminar paper on the Triangle Shirtwaist, and yeah, it's the Triangle Shirtwaist fire. It was ugly back then.
So I heard on the radio this morning about, maybe you've heard about the California bill that is aimed at improving and standardizing work conditions for fast food workers across the state of California. Because the fast food industry and their franchising system and their manipulation of government has made it really difficult to make an effective union of employees for fast food places.
Yeah.
They're trying to move in another direction by establishing this committee, this council, for setting up standardized rules across California. There's going to be 10 people on the council, 4 fast food workers, 4 people representing the fast food industry, and 2 government officials assigned by the governor in California to establish, rules and standards of fast food workers, including like minimum wage for them, on top of what minimum wage is for any Californian, and other things. We really don't know what it's going to establish until they do it. But I thought it was really interesting how we're still struggling, and how California is kind of leading the way, or trying to, in this situation. I heard this story on like NPR, but online I found that MSN was really. Let's see here. It's usually wait a minute. Blah blah blah. MSN gave me a lot of good information on the article. And as of a few days ago, the bill had passed, and they were sending it to the governor's office to Governor Gavin Newsom to sign. I think he signed it now, but I'm not sure. But I thought it was very interesting how that in state of California they're trying something aside from unions that are sort of weak to move forward. And of course the restaurant industry is pushing back and complaining that they're going to have to raise the price of food for up 20%, and it's going to be inconsistent rules for California versus other states, and blah blah blah. But other people are pretty excited about it, because their hope is, as these more robust rules get established in California, people in other states are going to be asking for the same thing. Since California is a major economic power, others are going to follow suit. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. I posted a link to the news article in the comments if anybody wants to look into them. It took me a while to sort of let it all sink in, because it's all like news and government and lawyers and jibber jabber.
Well, and part of the problem, I mean, back then unions were relative. You bring in the Pinkertons, bust up, the strikes, and break the unions, but they can't do that now. So you have places like Starbucks that'll just close locations if they try to.
Au contraire, they do that too.
Still bringing in the pinks.
Look at Amazon or Tesla.
Oh yeah, no,
Things are ugly.
Yeah. Well, the ones that try the ones that are being less a little more circumspect about it, like I said, because I know in California there was a city that. It was a particular city that had a mandated minimum wage for businesses in that city. So the Kroger in that city just closed. They didn't want to pay the wages, so they just closed. And Starbucks is trying to do that too in the places that are trying. And they're just, they're like, oh, they're going to take their toys and go home. I mean, I feel
like, well, who's going to miss a Kroger? California needs more HEB.
Yeah, and I mean, a grocery store makes money hand over fist. I mean, literally, what is the big deal? Like Walmart will not. Do the Waltons really need just a billion?
Their next $8 billion this year? Yes.
They could raise wages for everybody to $20 an hour in every single store that they have.
So Jeff Bezos could have basically, at the beginning of the pandemic from 2020, if he basically either gave healthcare, he would have made money. If he didn't and just gave every employee $144,000, he would not have lost money that year.
No, he wouldn't.
But everyone would have gotten $144,000. It's everyone who works for Amazon. Obviously not contractors, but still. I mean, yes, you can pay your people. It's worth it.
Well, but the money at that level is so ridiculous because his ex-wife, she got billions in the settlement, and she keeps giving it away, and she's still... Her money is still multiplying, and she is giving away huge chunks of cash, and it's just still multiplying.
Oh, there's a comedy series basically about her. I mean, it doesn't say it's about her, but it's about someone in her situation and how many people are in her situation. Oh, that looks hilarious.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but it looks real. Yeah, and that's basically what it is. There's so much money. You can give all of this money away, and you're still going to make money.
Yeah, you can't just the passive income alone on that much money and where it's invested and how it's invested. There's this interesting equation that they teach us in finance classes that once you have money, it's hard to not make more money with money because you're going to invest it, you're going to pay for things, you're going to buy things, it's hard to lose money when you're making so much money. It is this weird, unless you like all in one on this one terrible idea, but you have a friend who wants to, make a business, so you invest in it, and if it does well, cool. If it doesn't, you're only out whatever you invested in it, a couple $1,000s. If it goes off, you're millions in the bank, and it's just this. It was a weird concept to break down once you get a certain level of wealth.
Yeah,
not
it means
rich,
nothing anymore.
Wealth.
Yeah, because all those zeros, it doesn't mean anything anymore. It's just it's not even comprehensible.
We watched that new Jurassic Park, and there's obviously a Steve Jobs billionaire, like an eccentric billionaire, like he took all of them and stuck them into one guy, kind of. He had mannerisms from all of them, and his whole idea was
like an algorithm,
a composite for sure. And there was just this moment where he's obviously losing his vision, and everyone's dying because the dinosaurs yet again obviously are getting out. And everything's going to pot, and it's all his fault.
Nature finds a way.
Yeah, and that was the whole deal yet again. They even had him come back in to just say that.
I know.
Did
he came in and said
movie. That? Yeah, and like he's giving his dissertation, speech when everyone rolls in.
Yeah,
and but there's just this moment where he's trying to basically say, "All right, we're going to start it all over again, you and me. I can get the funding." Like whatever you want, and it just the whole movie throughout the entire thing, they're kind of going that spared no expense, but it's the new age version of that. It's like we'll talk about it. We'll talk about the price later. It doesn't matter. It's not part of this conversation. It's if we want this to happen, we can make it happen. We can move mountains. It doesn't matter. We have the money for that. We just don't talk about it. It's blasé to mention money in this because it's power we're really wielding here at this point. It's not even our money. It's investor money. And so we can sit down and say, we're going to do this wonderful thing. People just throw money at us because it's us. And I'm like, that's such a Victorian thinking too, for like old money. And I was just sitting there looking at this neo-Victorian idealism and thinking of, well, we started making people's heads roll about this time last time this would kind of happened.
Some things don't change. I mean, you know, and you're right about the levels of money that people just keep throwing money at it, because like, well, there's the shirtwaist fire. After that happened and the owners were acquitted, they did it again.
Yeah.
Luke, can remind us what the shirtwaist fire was briefly.
Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire, 1911 or 1912. I can't remember off the top of my head, but 140 people died. The majority of them were women. The majority of those women were young and immigrants. A lot of them didn't speak English. The factory had its doors bolted. The workers would come in around 7 a.m. The doors would be bolted, and they would be searched. There was one door in, one door out. Everything else was locked. And the reason was because the owners didn't want the girls stealing from them. So their bags were searched on the way out to make sure they didn't take any fabric or completed shirtwaist. And just for a shirtwaist is just a shirt. It was a way for women. It was kind of an independence move because they were no longer in, you know, dresses that were expensive. They could buy a nice shirtwaist and a nice skirt, wash them separately, mix and match. That's all it was. It was just white shirts for women. That was it. But the doors were locked. Somebody probably, they think, threw a cigarette butt because they couldn't leave their desks for breaks. So somebody took a smoke break at her machine, threw it into a butt. And when you've got a room like that that's closed up with no windows open, cotton fabric in the air, the particles will they'll flash over. Yeah, it's like flour or anything else floating in the air. It will flash over real quick. And that's what happened. And they got crushed in stairwells. They were jumping from windows. And the paper that I wrote about it was about how nobody really knew any of the women's names. They were referred to just as bodies in a lot of the reports about bodies falling from windows. And yeah, they were very anonymous. Like I said, they were young, they were immigrants. A lot of them were Jewish, Italian, Polish. They just wanted to make some money. You know, they were just young women who were taking care of their families.
So basically the warehouse just burned to the ground?
It was, yeah, because it was the owners and managed to get up to the roof and, you know, get to safety from there. They were fine, but the girls were not. And like I said, it was a majority of women. There were men working in the factory, and some of them also died. They couldn't get the doors open. And the factory was a shell, and it never would have passed fire inspection. It was horrible to begin with. It was a bad place to begin with. So there was a big trial, and it was very sad. They were acquitted and went and tried to do it again. But the fire marshal the inspection did shut them down that time. But yeah, they were going to try to do it again.
I'm surprised there were fire marshals to do inspections or rules on fire safety.
Well, Triangle Fire woke a lot of people up. It was so horrifying. And like I said, people were literally watching these poor girls. It was, you know, either burn or jump. Which one is going to be worse? You know, so it was so horrific that it was something that could not be. You could not, and I say you could not avoid it, but the same thing happened in Bangladesh a few years ago. Mm-hmm. There's a chicken processing plant in Tennessee in the 90s that this happened. Same thing, fire in the factory. Women working there, lower income women working in these factories, locked in, fire happens. So because of the Triangle Fire, that's where a lot of the OSHA regulations started to come from. And, you know, things got better, but, you know, better is a sliding scale. Legally
responsible.
Yeah, better is kind of a moving target, just depending.
And however, if you're smart as a business person, you have a holding company that owns all the rights and everything. So literally, once you've hit a certain limit of what's owned by the shell company, that is the one that takes all the liability. Nothing like you hit a maximum, and you can't take anything else from that because the holding company owns all the actual wealth, the everything else outside of just the management of the business. So, yeah,
and Zach has just outlined how, as we make rules to protect our employees, companies just establish new ways of doing business to circumvent the rules.
Oh yeah, make rules to protect themselves.
Yep.
Which is why we're coming back to the California legislature.
Yeah. Trying to
well,
protect them.
that's now trying to keep the companies from circumventing or undermining union power by trying things in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't know how effective it's going to be, since you still have the industry taking up 4 of those 10 seats and workers getting 4 of those 10 seats. It's not like a way to flex your proletariat muscle. But we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Well, and doesn't Amazon essentially do the same thing now? They have the one way in and one way out, and
you mean bolting the doors and all?
Huh?
You mean bolting the doors?
Yeah, and you can't leave your desk. The girls at the Triangle Factory didn't have apps and cameras watching them to make sure they don't leave their desk, but they had bully boys in there watching them to make sure that they didn't leave their desks or steal anything,
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a higher tech version of the Triangle Factory.
Mm-hmm.
Or any of those little factories, because the Triangle was just the one that everybody knows about, but those same fabric textile mills were all over New York, everywhere. It was a good opportunity. Well, good. It was an opportunity for young women. Right.
And we're talking about an era where if you're down and out, you don't have a job, you're just like now, you're out of luck.
Yeah.
You don't have the resources to get to get out from under. Yeah. Same old story. Yep.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that I realized when I was researching it was the idea of the shirtwaists was for these independent young women who were working as, clerks in stores and this and that. So the shirtwaists are being marketed to them as this is something for, the young woman who needs to go out and get a job. But they need a job, so they're working in the shirtwaist factory making the shirtwaists. So it's just it's just a cycle that we created this product so they can go out and get a job, but they're getting jobs where they're making, and it just keeps going around and around and around. But for them, it was independence. It was cash in their pocket at the end of the week,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Same thing with the Ford company. They realized that they had to manufacture a car cheap enough for the common person to people who were working there to purchase a car.
Yeah.
I think that was sort of revolutionary, that Ford felt that he needed to make a product cheap enough and pay his employees well enough that they can afford the product that they're making.
Yeah.
Good advertisement.
That's kind of progressive, if you like.
I will give Ford that, but he was an asshole in a lot of
and a
ways.
Nazi.
Yeah.
But it was good advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are driving the cars. Your people buy these cars are so good that our own people want to buy them and drive them.
And they come in any color imaginable
that
you would ever want, as long as it was black.
Yep. So we have more regulations now, but people at Walmart are still making the equivalent, essentially, of what those girls at the factory.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
because even then, even though I got a new job this year and it pays me a little more, my car died, and therefore now I have more bills than I did when I was working. I was making more money at the old job than I was the new job, and then we have 9 to 10% interest. Inflation on everything. Everything's 10 to 20% more expensive right now. Gasoline's stupid. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm making less money than I have in a long time. But at least I'm happy at work. That's the key right there when it comes to that one.
And you have parents who have to juggle daycare or, one partner staying home.
Yeah.
Because if you have two people, each partner is working, you have to pay for daycare, but one of the partners is essentially working to pay for the daycare because daycare is so expensive. So you have to decide
until they get into public school.
Yep.
You're paying for daycare.
Yeah.
My sister's in that situation. Her baby daddy is working a job and barely struggling, and there's talk about getting her back to work, but up until recently, that would put their son, my nephew, in daycare, which would cost more than my sister would be making at any job. So, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, and I mean, because we need to pay childcare workers what they're worth, but we need to pay the people who need the childcare commensurate wages. It's people. They're saying people don't want to go back to work. People can't, literally, in some cases, cannot afford to go back to work.
Yeah,
they just can't.
The work isn't offering them a better way than not working.
Yeah, which is why work from home was so valuable for some. Well, it was valuable for some people. For some people, for a lot of mothers, it actually was. Things got a little bit more difficult because they were juggling everything. But I mean, it turned out to be really beneficial for some people, and productivity for a lot of places went up. My husband gets he's not been back to the office since March of 2020. And he loves it. He's happy. He doesn't get to drive his car as much as he wants, but
you're saving a lot of money right now in gasoline because of it.
He's got a Mini Cooper, though.
You're still saving a lot of money in gasoline right now.
I know, but he loves that car.
Right
he
now,
drives that car like Jason Bourne.
It's like driving 2 Mini Coopers anywhere you go.
No, I mean, and my Forester gets really good gas mileage, so we just take that one out and about usually. But no, now that he's not wrestling through traffic every day an hour each way to Plano, it's much better. Yeah, straight down that corridor. So I don't know.
I can understand that. Go to driving anywhere around there during any type of like rush hour traffic.
Yeah, it's I work 5 minutes away from where I live, so I could walk to my library in 15 minutes.
Nice.
So, yeah. TWU is right around the corner.
It'd be nice like 3 times a year to do that, because either then it's gonna be too hot, deadly cold, and then one day of just like perfect amount of weather, and then too hot again.
Actually, but a few years ago, 2018, 2019, well, when I moved into this house in 2018, I started walking because the parking became such a nightmare at TWU. It was because if I drove up there, I would circle around for 20 minutes.
Yep.
And then have to park way in the back. So it was actually faster to just walk.
By the time you get there and you start looking for a parking spot, you're back at your house looking, with the open parking spot.
Yeah. So
you still have to walk from your house over there anyway.
Yeah, so for a good 2 years, I did walk. I just, rain, shine, cold, I trudged my ass up there, and
congratulations.
It was fine. It wasn't always great, but
no, I understand.
Jack, did you bring anything for us?
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. I'm happy. I don't have a whole lot, so I was letting you burn my time. I have a really cool picture I want to show you guys because I'm looking around on the Steampunk Tendencies.
Have you been trying to find something while we're talking?
Oh yes. Because what I had before was not great, and I'm not nearly smart enough to understand it to explain it right now. Okay. So, thank you, Rum. Anyway, share screen. That one. Yes, that one. So
what is that? Oh, Steampunk Tendencies.
It's a bed.
Wait, what is that?
It's a bed.
What is it?
I don't.
It's disturbing me.
I feel like it's a bed written by one of those AI programs because
it looks like something out of Hellraiser.
But then when you really start paying attention to it, you're like, what is all this crap around here?
Because there's really gory scenes in Hellraiser.
Yeah,
that's what it's reminding me of.
I know this is an actual piece.
It's disturbing.
But it does have that feeling of like telling an AI, go take a Victorian architecture and like boats and make a bed out of it.
Yeah,
and this is what happened. Because, I mean, I don't.
Where did you find these things?
This is Steampunk Tendencies on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
that's
like a pretty decent place.
I don't know. I'm getting like Call of Cthulhu vibes here too. So yeah, especially that.
Yeah. But unfortunately, I can tell it's not. This came from a human being's brain because
is that a bed or a sacrificial altar?
Well, instead of rolling off the bed, you're stopped because you get stabbed.
I don't think these are obviously show.
Okay, so
pieces.
these are real. These are not just
They're
are
not
actual
AI
physical.
Yeah,
these are actual physical creations.
You can. Let's see if I can move this around a little bit. Let's see if I can change us a little bit. There we are.
Okay.
So there is enough shadow under here. It makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
In the actual picture I'm looking at, these are pillows. This sheet is like, this is a real image. I just don't. I can't wrap my brain around. There's a lot of imagery here. That's not like this looks like a skull. It's not a skull.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, and then we got. Yeah, there's a lot of these. There's like 4, I think, but I thought they were really cool because at first I thought they were AI generated because I got some. I'll even pull them up here in just a second of like AI generated things that my RP group came up with by accident when looking at like, let's blend an elder god of the devourer into a spaceship and see what happens. And let me tell you, we got some stuff. We got horror. Let's see, let me see my background. Here's one.
Kind of like those ships in The Expanse.
Oh, yeah. Or think more
that
like
thing in the first season with Julie Mao and the thing that she was becoming.
I mean, there's that.
That's what
I'm thinking more probably on the lines of what was that one? Event Horizon stuff.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, this looks like 40K chaos.
Yeah. This is
warp.
But this is AI generated. This is straight up. A robot came up with this. We just gave it the idea of mixing in elder gods and a battleship. Like obviously you can see like a spaceship, and it's like there is like skulls and stuff in the clouds, and there's whatever this scary thing is. And
Cthulhu.
It's either Cthulhu or a giant space phallic object.
You start to understand why in Frank Herbert's Dune, they outlawed the thinking machines after that uprising.
Yeah,
we don't want to mess with those guys, man.
They have some. They're taking our ideas and mesh. Like this is a million different pictures, like thought through, and then it went and did its thing. This is taking its idea.
They create indescribable horrors by default. It's like, just their nature.
I know this one said 1800s battleship Star Destroyer Cthulhu blood. That's what we use for words. And
stop.
You know what?
How to do it.
I am fully happy with what came out of this.
Until it comes for him in the night.
I mean, I've already
you have no idea what you've called up.
The reason this came up is because we got kind of in a horror deal where one of our guys was like needed to leave the RP group, and so we wanted his character to be something, not just die, but he became the proverbial boogeyman. He looked into a black hole and something stared back at him, and slowly started like becoming more and more dark as he went, and started like sacrificing crew, and it became really weird. And then it's a big long deal, but essentially it turned out to being the devourer bursts forth and using everyone's goo from like in a very it's not really supposed to be a Stranger Things feel from like season 3, but it turned out to be that, rolling up everyone's goo and started using it to like manipulate and like flow into the computer systems. And it's actually the whole storyline of like Homeworld Cataclysm, where this alien beast does the same thing, and it's something you can't stop. It just it's endless. You can't like maroon it on a planet. You can't get rid of it. It's there. It exists. It's going to consume everything. Well, I mean, it's pretty steampunk in its own way. That's just scary. You don't want this coming for you. It's just, you're gonna run. You better run.
It's very organic and disturbing.
Part of the ship, part of the crew. But yeah, that's what I have. A little bit of pre-horror for your Halloween-ish time. It's not this.
Much obliged.
I don't like it.
So should I frame this for you, Dax, and send it to you?
I'm thinking about the podcast that this is going to become, and trying to figure out like how would I describe this terror that you're showing me.
It's like a Star Destroyer with masts made of like organic goo.
Yeah, it's
flowing through what looks like a belly of a Titan.
It's like biomechanical.
You can see like
swallowed other Titans. This is like the stomach.
The sides of the stomach lining and other chunks of grizzle shoved into it. something that might or might not be a giant skull of something.
What was my favorite caption from Stranger Things this season? Tentacles undulate moistly. It's like moist undulations happening.
I actually heard a funny quote the other day, and it came all across like on Reddit of course, of all places. But it was it was done as like a screen wallpaper. And it says, and it's like a mountain range. It's weird. It's a mountain range. And it says, "Did not wake up today to get screwed by tentacles." I'm like, that's a great quote. You know what? I didn't wake up today to be messed with by tentacles. I want that on a mug.
Duly noted. Yeah, that looks very damp and unpleasant.
The word moist really does not leave
It's
this
moist.
image.
Yeah.
I find that the colors, the sort of crimson and black that displayed, the blue highlights, it's so disturbing.
Now go back to the furniture, because that's what it's organic. That's what the furniture looks like, a weird organic, just uncontrollable growth.
Yeah,
that's why it's bought.
Yeah, one reason I thought it was probably based off of the AI thing,
like something
because it has that
cave,
same weird mess of just so much stuff, because it's like the AI is trying to like fill in everything with something, and it's just so busy.
It's making me uncomfortable.
I wouldn't sleep in that.
No.
I wouldn't sleep in this either.
I wouldn't put my body anywhere near that. No, you can become one with that thing really fast.
Part of the ship, part of the crew. It'd be bad when like this figure just like breaks forth and like, would you like warm milk before bed?
It's in the fracking ship.
What's brushing my hair?
Alrighty then. Well, now everybody's gonna have nightmares tonight. So, You're welcome.
You're welcome. Nightmare Fuel brought to you by Jack B. Flippin.
So we're coming up on the hour. Let me hit off a few things off our calendar before we go. Something I found, most of the stuff I find, Facebook shows me are in Austin. That's not my fault. I can't figure out how to tell me what's going on in the rest of the state. But there's the Mad Hatter's Gin and Tea Party happening Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every night for the rest of the month at a place called Indra's a Warehouse. This Mad Hatter's Gin and Tea Party is an immersive experience in a Wonderland installation. Take a trip down the rabbit hole and delight the senses in a whimsical tea party that has already won rave reviews in LA, New York, Miami, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, name drop, blah, blah, blah. But it looks really cool or disturbing if you just come from looking at these pictures. That's a thing that's coming up.
You mean dinner?
I'm just, yeah.
I'm gonna go drink myself to
I'm
sleep.
having a hard time here. I mentioned Bernardo's Circus coming up on the 20th through beginning of October at the Moon Tower Saloon. That's going to be worth checking out. I love circuses because they are very, Victorian, early turn of the century, and now they don't have poor animals. They're all human powered, if you will. So that I've enjoyed circuses more without the guilt.
Yeah.
Having this small family circus come to town is pretty fun. Plano has their balloon festival coming up on the 22nd. Balloon festival and run. I guess there's some sort of.
That's what happens. The balloons go up with snipers.
Oh no!
Oh.
We don't want that.
No ideas. Don't give anybody ideas.
And then we're getting into October, where I'm hoping the calendar will fill up quickly, but I'm still looking for October events that are steampunk related. I'm expecting a lot more spooky stuff, more goth events, and that sort of thing. but I'm really trying to find particularly steampunk events that are happening in the coming month. But there are things happening, definitely worth checking out. And you can see my entire catalog or calendar as a patron through Patreon. So I should take this time to thank our patrons who are keeping our lights on. We're brought to you in part by fairtreasures.com. Fair Treasures has a selection of Texas-made female-presenting costumes and accessories for Renaissance fairs and steampunk wear. Also, one-of-a-kind jewelry and alchemy jewelry imported from England. You can shop Fair Treasures at www.fairtreasures.com, fair with an E, or on Etsy. Also want to thank Jenny and Ryan Shaver, and, of course, Rita and Lawrence Allen for helping us on Patreon. If you're not watching us on Facebook, you can find us there at Texas Steampunk Connection. You can email us at texassteampunkconnection@gmail.com. Our podcast is texassteampunkconnection.podbean.com, and it should be findable through any of the podcast search engines you might be using. We're on Twitter at TXSteamConnect1, and YouTube and Rumble through the Steam Chest subscription box. And most importantly, our music is brought to you by Zapsplat.com.
So important.
Did we get shut down again last time?
I don't think we did.
Okay, so
Facebook left us alone 2 weeks ago and did not try to cut our music out.
Well, now that we've
maybe
said
this
that,
is working.
We'll just overplay it.
So we want to thank Zapsplat.com for letting us
thanks,
use their music.
Zapsplat.
Thank you, Zapsplat. We need like a montage of that now. Like random ass people we asked like with like a microphone at different conventions now.
Zapsplat.com. It's not a cookie, it's fruit and cake.
Oh, shoot.
All righty.
Have we missed anything? This hour just sort of flew by.
It started off a little weird and it got fairly normal, and then suddenly it got really weird.
And then we've ventured into.
I apologize. My friends, actually one of them is here talking right now. Yeah, he kind of knows a little bit about where those pictures came from.
Well, everybody have good dreams.
Anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in and listening to us once again. We'll be back in another 2 weeks on Tuesday. Until then, mind your gauges.
Mind your gauges.
Mind your gauges.